Formula One brakes, why don't they burn at 3,000 degrees? Now I'm going to tell you about it.
Imagine you're traveling at 350 kilometers per hour, faster than most helicopters fly, and you need to stop in 2 seconds.
What happens to the brakes at that moment? They literally glow like the sun. The temperature reaches 3,000 degrees Celsius.
Steel would have melted long ago. Aluminum would have evaporated. But Formula One brake discs survive.
Ow! That's exactly what we're going to talk about.
First, why regular brakes don't work. You've probably seen that brake discs on regular cars are made of metal. Gray, heavy, solid. At first glance, it seems, well, what's there to improve? The problem is temperature. A regular steel disc starts losing strength at just 600 degrees. At 1,000, it simply deforms. Now remember, in Formula One, temperatures reach 3,000 degrees. That's 3 times hotter than molten lava. Steel under those conditions is just a puddle of metal on the asphalt. So a completely different material is needed. Carbon against carbon sounds strange, but it's genius. Formula One brake discs are made from carbon, but not just carbon from a carbon-carbon composite.
That phrase sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. Take thin carbon threads thinner than a human hair. Weave them in layers, like fabric.
Now imagine that fabric was saturated with carbon once more from the inside. Every fiber is surrounded with carbon on all sides.
The result is a structure where everything holds on to everything.
So carbon is one of the few materials on Earth that doesn't melt when heated, and it actually gets stronger. Yes, you heard that right.
The chemical fog that works miracles. Here's a process very few people know about. It's called chemical vapor deposition.
Again, sounds complicated, and let me break it down simply. Imagine a porous sponge. Inside it, millions of tiny holes. Now imagine you place that sponge in a sealed chamber and pump a special gas inside. That gas penetrates every single hole. And then, under the influence of high temperature, the gas turns into solid carbon right inside those holes. Hole by hole, layer by layer, the empty space fills up. The sponge becomes a solid block. This process takes several weeks. 1 disc weeks of work. That's exactly why one set of Formula One brakes costs more than a brand new business class car. But the result is worth it, a disc that fears neither fire, nor pressure, nor speed. But wait, that's still not everything.
Change how tightly packed the atoms are inside the disc in different parts of it. Why? Because the load on the disc isn't uniform.
The center of the disc heats up less, the edges more. During braking, one part of the disc experiences colossal pressure,
Another part less. If you make the disc equally dense everywhere, and it will crack where the load is maximum. So engineers deliberately create different zones with different densities. Like building a house where the
load-bearing walls are thicker and the partition walls are thinner. Each part does its job, and the whole thing holds together for an entire season. An entire season that matters.
one set of discs must survive repeated brakings from 300 kilometers per hour, race after race, with 0 failures.
Why this matters beyond racing. Here's what's truly fascinating. Technologies that first appear in Formula One end up in everyday life just a few years later.
Carbon brakes are already fitted on supercars. They're gradually appearing on regular sports cars. Manufacturing processes are getting cheaper. And it's entirely possible that in 10-15 years, the brakes on your car will be made using the same technology that stops Formula One cars.
And sent to a corner and braking so hard that the discs glow orange, you'll know. It's not just metal, it's weeks of precision craftsmanship,
Chemistry at the atomic level, and engineering that challenges the laws of physics itself. And that's exactly what makes cars the most fascinating invention in human history.